Well, we're here with Navy assistant Danny O'Rourke. Wanted to talk to you about Kip Franklin. He's wearing the 68 in honor of David Forney.
Sure.
Hey, do you think he's a good choice to do that?
Absolutely. Dave was such a special young man, such a big part of the program, on and off the field. His attitude, his competitive spirit, his team leadership, just his want to. He just epitomized everything it was to be a Navy offensive lineman here. So it's a special honor. It's the highest honor that we hold in our room, and I think Kip was a great choice and one that we're all proud of.
I was talking to Ashley about him, and he mentioned about last year he had a torn rotator cuff. He wore a harness the whole, but he posted every game. He had 10 different offensive line combinations, but the one guy who was the constant was Kip. Does that speak to his toughness? Danny?
Absolutely, absolutely. He played hurt, but he played every game and he played well. Everybody makes mistakes, but he kept getting in the huddle. And that's what we talk about on the offensive line. Just get in the huddle, get in the huddle, get in the huddle. You're going to make a mistake, get back in the huddle. You might be banged up, get back in the huddle. And he did that. So obviously last year a lot of in and out. We had a lot of change in. A lot of guys had to play different spots, different situations. But Kip was the stalwart up there. He did a good job. And like I said, he didn't feel great, but it obviously says a lot about him, about his character, and just about his toughness, about his want to, about his mentality.
Now that he's healthy, how's he looking out here?
Looks good. Obviously, he moves around well. Got to keep going. I think he's done a good job of trying to lead the unit. He made mistakes as always, like everybody does, but he has the ability to be mature about it, to grow up, get back in the huddle, fix it, and get going. I think he's been a great example for the young guys, especially that you just got to keep going. You got to keep going, and just got to keep getting back in the huddle. You just got to go, and especially here.
What do you think are his strengths? What would you say makes him a good offensive tackle for Navy?
He's very competitive. He has a lot of want to about him. He likes to play football, meaning that some people like to play football. He really likes to play football. He likes the hard part of it. He likes being out in the heat. He likes the toughness of it, the grit. What makes football and not anything else. So, and then he's athletic. He's got good foot quickness. He can move, but it's just I think his competitive spirit makes him who he is.
All right, thanks, Danny.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just one more about Kip. You guys have classifying by off the field.
Yeah.
What's he like on the field?
He knows when to turn it off. I think that's the best part about him. He's grown, he's matured, and there are times where we have fun and where it's okay, and there are times where you gotta button it up and be serious and show the young guys what it takes, obviously, to play well and to do well here, and he knows the difference. So it's not something we have to pull him aside and say, Kip, he's figured it out. He knows the pulse of the room, when guys need a little up, a little get going, a little motivation, and he knows when guys need to maybe relax a little bit. You got a lot of young guys making mistakes. They just came out of plebe summer. They don't know really what's going on, and sometimes that's okay as long as they're just getting in, just competing, having fun and going and playing the way we need to play. So been proud of them.
Well, when I was out of practice the other day, first of all, we're here with Will Harbour, Navy inside linebacker. When I was out of practice, I noticed you wearing the 54. What led to that decision?
Diego and I are just great friends, and he asked if I would wear it, but it's just a number at the end of the day. It's what you do in the number that makes the number.
So why do you think Diego wanted you to wear that number? I mean, I know he used to call you his little brother, right?
Yeah, he did. We were just really good friends, and he really taught me how to lead, and I followed him, and we would push each other in workouts and everything, so we became really close through that.
So how do you got to be careful not to try to be Diego Fago. There was only one Diego. I mean, it's a reason why he's in the Baltimore Ravens training camp now. He's a very, very talented player. Do you have to be careful to try to not do everything he did?
No, I just listen to Coach Volker and Coach Newberry. They're great coaches. Just telling me the scheme, just got to do what they do and play with elite, effort, attitude, toughness. So just got to do that and play Navy football.
How tough was it last season? I mean, you, I think, had earned a starting role alongside Diego, and then the injuries, and it was just seemed like one after another. I think he came back from one injury, and then we're out again. How frustrating was last season?
It was pretty frustrating, but it got some other guys to get good looks on the field. Colin Ramos out there against Army just balling. Fletcher, he's just playing great. The young guys getting reps, and now look at them, 1 and 2. Going to be out on the field this year, so super exciting.
So talk about how you fought back from the injuries, and I think you were limited in the spring as well.
Yeah, just going through adversity. Times got tough. I couldn't really hit in the spring, but just coming out here and playing exactly what Coach Newberry and Coach Volker want, just playing with elite eat and doing everything I can.
Do you feel like you lost valuable time? The game and practice reps you didn't get last fall, then you not being able to hit during the spring. Do you feel like you got some time making up to do?
Most definitely, but just doing everything I can. Some extra stuff, watching film with young guys, bringing other people up. But, yeah, although I lost time, just doing everything I can right now to be the best I can for the season.
So how are you feeling out there?
Feeling great. Good to be back.
What the inside linebacker position tends to lead Navy in tackles. If you go and look at the tackle leaders over the years, 90% of those guys are inside linebackers. That's the way the defense is designed. You funnel you guys, they big guys up front keep the blockers off you, and you got to go make tackles. Do you talk about that responsibility?
We're just going to go out there and do our jobs. Everybody's going to do our job. Coach Newberry really talks about assist, and that's doing your job, not necessarily making the tackle, but being in the right spot, and somebody else will make the tackle. So we're just really out there trying to do what we do as Navy football.
So Diego was obviously such a prominent figure, and he was always noticeable on the field because he was always around the ball making plays and, interceptions and fumble recoveries, forced fumbles, and obviously always a lot of tackles. How does the inside linebacker corps as a unit make up for his loss?
We're just going to have to work our butts off. We're just going to get out here every day. Listen to Coach Newberry on all his calls. Great defensive mind, so we're just going to do what he does, and he'll bring us in, put us in the right spots we need to be.
So are you able to talk to Diego every now and again, even though he's busy up there with Ravens?
Yeah, we text a little bit. It's good chats. Nice talking to him. So.
All right, thanks, Will.
Thank you so much.
Well, just a few more. Compared to last year, how much muscle do you think you put on?
I put on a decent amount, weighing about the same, but a lot more muscle. So that's good.
Do you mind the responsibility at that Mike position, kind of calling out signals and being like a quarterback of the defense?
No, I played Mike in high school, and then coming here, and then last year with Diego, especially in the Air Force game, I would help make calls because at Mike or at Will, it was easier to see some things to the boundary, so I would help him. So it was nice.
And last year, just the other linebackers, specifically Ramos, what are you seeing out of them so far this year?
It's all about their work ethic. We're out here trying to work our butts off and get better every single day. Got to stack bricks and stack every day. Get ready for the fall.
We're here with Navy inside linebackers coach P.J. Volker. I wanted to talk to you a bit about Will Harbour. He's wearing number 54. I was curious about that. I asked him. He said that Diego asked him to wear 54. But first of all, what do you think of that?
Yeah, I think it's awesome. Taylor Heflin, who played a few years back, passed 54 down to Diego, and then Diego passed it down to Will. So it's become something that obviously all the LBs are loving to do here, and obviously to have the opportunity to wear 54, I think is a special deal for us here at Navy.
How do you make sure that Will Harbour doesn't try to be Diego Fago? There was only one Diego Fago. There's a reason why he's in the league right now. He's a special player. You try to make sure that Will doesn't try to fill those shoes and do more than he's capable?
Sure, and we've had that conversation with the entire group. We're not looking for anybody to do anything else besides reach their full potential. So we're just trying to get the best out of Will Harbour that we absolutely can. We're trying to get the best out of Gianni Woodson-Brooks. We're trying to get the best out of Colin Ramos, Tyler Fletcher, Kyle Jacob, all those guys. We just want them each to reach their full potential.
So Will missed significant time last year. It seemed like one thing after another kept him out of the lineup, and then he was not able to go full go in the spring. Did he fall behind?
No. He worked his tail off. I think that the entire group did a phenomenal job with the scheme piece of things throughout the summer. Us getting a little bit of time to help him with some of those things with the new NCAA rules and things like that. It's been wonderful. I think Coach Fitz, Jim Barry, the entire staff worked their tails off to make sure that he's in the best shape possible. and he looks phenomenal out there right now.
I was going to say, he just told us that he's the same weight, but it's more muscular. Are you noticing on the field that the conditioning he's done during the all season is paying off?
Absolutely. I cannot speak more highly of Coach Fitz, the strength staff, everything that those guys have done, Coach Miller. The guys came in absolutely phenomenal shape, and Will obviously being one of those guys.
So we all knew what Diego could do and his strengths. What does Will Harbour bring to the table as an inside linebacker?
You know, Will knows the scheme better than anybody in the room. And I think Will played a little bit of quarterback when he was in college, so he understands offensive structure, what offenses are trying to do. Mm-hmm. He's got that ability to be able to process those things before the snap, to see the formation, to see the backfield set, to see the quarterback, mm-hmm. see the line. So he brings that piece of it. So not just knowing what he's doing, not just knowing what the guys around him are doing, but then also knowing what the entire defense is doing, plus what the offense is doing. So he brings that to the table. And I'll be honest with you, he is just tenacious with his work ethic. Just everything that he does, he just goes the extra mile, and it's infectious. I mean, he's a extremely positive young man. I mean, you just talk with him. I mean, he is just a delight to be around. I think the guys enjoy being around him. I think he's a wonderful influence on every guy that we have in the room.
In terms of, Diego had certain things that he was really good at. He had good instincts. He knew he was always around the ball. He was a playmaker. He could cause fumbles, scoop fumbles, pickoffs. Does Will have some of that talent? Is he a playmaker? Can he be a guy that, run blitzes and stuffs the guy up the middle?
Oh, absolutely. We want to put him out there if he couldn't do those things. I mean, that's obviously a big piece of playing Mike linebacker for us. Is you've got to be a guy that can fill gaps, get downhill, finish on top, land in a dominant position. You got to be a guy that can attack the ball. Coach Niemot sends us out there. We got one job. Mm-hmm. It's to get the ball back, and that's what we're going to do defensively. We're making an emphasis, obviously, on disruptive plays, attacking the football. And Will's phenomenal at those things. Out of the first 3 plays out there this spring, he knocked the ball out during the first 3 plays. So we're seeing those things. He's got his hand on a couple balls, has a couple interceptions already through the first few days of practice.
So I know Harbour played Will at the beginning of last year. He was starting alongside Diego. What makes you feel like he's best suited to Mike? Do you think that's his more natural position of the two?
I do. So last year, the spring before, he actually was the second string Mike behind Diego. Mm-hmm. And by the time we got to game 1 last year, he was the second best inside linebacker. Right. So we got to put him out there. So he's more suited to play Mike, but we felt like we're going to put the best 2 guys out. So if it's playing 2 Mikes or playing 2 Wills, that's what we're going to do to get the best 11 guys on the field.
And how's that battle going at the other spot with Ramos and Fletcher?
It's phenomenal. I feel like we've got really 4 starters in the inside linebacker room.
Being behind
Will? Yeah. So Gianni, Will Harbour, Colin Ramos, and Tyler Fletcher.
Right, so I do not think
I do not have anything that makes me think those guys can't go in the game and operate at a high level. I'm really excited about those 4 guys.
So for fans who think because Diego Fago has graduated, there's going to be a drop-off at inside linebacker, no?
No, we're not going to have a drop-off. We're going to be deeper than we ever have been. We're going to be fresher than we have been. We're going to play more guys than we have my first 3 seasons here, and we're going to put a product out there that the guys are going to that our fans are going to love watching.
All right, thanks, P.J.
Thanks, Wags.
Appreciate you.
One for you, Fletcher, just with his length that he brings out there, just physical size. What dynamic does that bring to the linebacker position? Because Ramos and Harbour are both more stocky.
Yeah, we've got a few compact guys. Fletch with his length, I think, just presents a lot of problems for people. Big people beat up little people. And for us, we got to be able to play a lot of different guys, keep our guys fresh, do those things. But Fletch can match up with tight ends. Obviously, he can play in space. He's a matchup for us on the edge in terms of bringing pressure. He's got good length blitz. You saw against Temple last year. We brought him off the edge. Obviously had a big tackle against those guys, and really just excited about everything that he's bringing. He's playing at a much, much higher level than he did last year.